I'm having a little bit of deja vu. Y'all tell me in the comments if you've seen this before. I've got a very intermittent battery drain. Right now it's acting up. Got about 3.5, almost 4 amps of current draw. The network is awake, and if I go over here and unplug the connector to the RF hub, let's see what happens to our network. Well, I said I unplugged the RF hub one. Pretty sure I did. Oh, yep, there it goes. We went to sleep. Huh. Is it just me, or have we seen this before? Our current draw is dropping as things actually go to sleep. Yeah, I think we got a bad RF hub again. Sorry about the road noise. The highway here is like just crazy busy and loud today. But this is a 2016 Charger. I can't remember what the last car was. I feel like it was a Challenger, about the same year range. I'm not positive. We've seen this already. But it's been a couple minutes. You can see we're down to 300 milliamps on the current draw. And I've got my U-scope just pinned in with the RF hub, and you can see it's just talking away. It is going crazy. And if I pull this back out and go back into one of my other network wires, if I can get it in there, you can see our network's completely asleep. So, pretty sure we've just got another bad RF hub like in the Challenger or whatever it was. It may have been a Charger. I really can't remember. But we're gonna look at some live data again because y'all had some questions in the comments on the last video about the range switch data in the RF hub, and I'm pretty sure that that's not even supposed to be there. But we're going to look at some data again, and in this video we're actually going to put an RF hub in this thing and program it, because I didn't get to show you that in the last video. So it's kind of nice that I have the exact same failure again on a different car, and I get to show you part of the process that I wasn't able to on the last one just because I was in such a hurry. So let's get into it. All right, so in the last video, if you guys watched it and remember, I kind of was thinking there was something going on with the park reverse neutral switch data in the RF hub. And as you can see, I've got it pulled up here, and it says we're in reverse, but we're in drive. This says we're in drive, or park. We're in park, and this says we're in park. If I start it up and actually put this into reverse, this changes to neutral. Go to neutral, it says we're in 3. Drive, we're in D position. So that one's correct. I think the last car said same thing, just like this. So everything here is kind of like one off, I guess. But this is correct. So we're in reverse, neutral, drive, go over to manual, and this, when we go into manual, it says not reverse, manual trans only. I don't remember what it said in the last video. I think I was using the Ultra, the Autel Ultra in the last video, but I do remember I checked it with the Topdon, I checked it with the Snap-on. All of them had this right here. And when I programmed the new module in the last car, I checked it with YTech, and YTech don't have that. So let me get the MDP plugged up, get this thing loaded, and we'll look at YTech data and see what's going on here. Alright, so I got the MDP plugged up, got YTech going here. I'm in the RF data, or RFH data, and if this thing will stay connected, it's been acting up, wanting to drop connection here, but if we scroll through this data, we're not going to find a PRNDL data PID at all in here. So I'll kind of go easy, slow through here, let y'all kind of see all the data PIDs that it has. And when it goes to dashes, that's my connection dropping. These things, they require very good internet. I think I'm gonna have to get my my cable and attach via the cable to this thing. But right here we have the gated park switch, and that is closed, and that does work. If we pull it out of park, that would come out of park, it would show open. So that's how the RF hub actually knows it's in park. But there is no other data PIDs for the reverse and drive and stuff. I do wish I could see this data PID when it's acting up. I want to know what that is. Right now I've hit the start button, so it's actually woke up by the start button. But whenever it's messed up, I wish I knew what that was, what it would say. I can't remember if I seen that in the last video or not. But that's it. That's all the data PIDs. There is nothing about the PRNDL, the park, reverse, neutral, drive, nothing like that. So that's what I was saying at the end of the other video. I'll ignore that data PID if you come across it. It's irrelevant. It's not accurate. It shouldn't be there. If it should be there, YTech 2 should have it there. So let me get my cable connected to this thing, and we're gonna start doing the replace of this thing and get this thing programmed. Anytime you're replacing a module, you need to refer to service information, because you never know what you're going to need to do prior to actually removing the module. Sometimes you need to pull data out of it to then write back into the new module or something like that. With this one, it's not the case, but still I always refer to service information. And with this one, there is something kind of particular about these vehicles. So I'm on the removal page, and all data gives us this nice little link over here for programming and relearning. So if I click that, we have a few different options here. And one of these is if you're replacing multiple things. So like, let's say this is a theft recovery or something, and you've got to program a BCM or PCM along with an RF hub and keys and things like that. This document gives you, I think, all the possible conditions you could have. So they call them like condition 1. So condition 1 would be you're doing a new RF hub, and then the BCM, FOBIC keys, PCM, all that is existing. This gives you the steps you need to follow to program that module. So we're at condition 1. We need to program the keys, okay, with the ignition off. So we need to start with ignition off, okay, and then we get here to replace the RF hub. So now I have to put this in and plug it up. And then it tells me to do this right here, ignition on. Let's see, replace if, so we didn't replace none of that other stuff. So actually I skipped a step. Ignition off, program the keys, replace the RF hub, and this is actually the function, a function that you need to do. And if I go over to the other page where it is just talking about programming the hub here, it gives us more detail about this. So ignition on after we've got the keys programmed, because it tells us, well, actually, let me back up. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is talking about right here, getting the PIN number, right? That other page was just kind of a brief overview telling us kind of the functions we needed to do, the order to do them in. This is telling us we don't have to have a PIN number. I do have the PIN number for this car. There's different ways you can get a PIN number for these things. You can use an aftermarket tool to pull the PIN. You can use your NASTF credentials to get the PIN. Sometimes if you're buying this from the dealer, they might give you the PIN, might not. The owner of the vehicle can get the PIN for sure from the dealer. They're probably not going to give a new rolling PIN out though, because it's going to be pointless. It's not going to work with aftermarket logins or anything like that. But this one is a normal 4-digit PIN that is permanent. It doesn't change in this car. So I've got that PIN number for this car. And then tells us ignition on, select the RF hub, ignition off. If the RF hub was replaced, okay, this is where we would replace the hub. We would program the keys, okay, and then we would run the miscellaneous function for RF hub replace. And then there's a few other things down here. So let me get this swapped out real fast, and we'll continue on with this. All right, so I got the hub replaced back there in the hat rack. Here is the old one. I did check the pins. They don't look like they've got any corrosion or anything like that in them. But ironically, this one has a tinted back glass as well, just like the other one. Very, very deja vu here. It's just, I'm pretty sure the other one was a Challenger. But either way. So now we need to program the key fob. And if I remember right, this will let us program the key fob without having the pin. When we need the pin is the RF hub function, I believe. So let's go back over here to YTech, and great, it's kicked me out. So let's open this back up, and we need to go into the RF hub. As you've seen, everything went red because the key is off. They are not communicating, and in the RF hub here we've got codes set for door sense general electric failure. Those are stored, and the button stored. The key in, I can't remember what they call this, the KIN ignition module, whatever, the push button, it's in the, had a code for that. It's kind of strange. But we need to go to miscellaneous functions, and we need to program the key fob. And this is going to give us some instructions about where to put the key. So center console, that's where I've got it. Also, it tells us no notebook, scan tools, cell phones, nothing like that close to the console. Hopefully this is far enough away. Let's continue on. place the start switch in the lock state. Well, we don't have a lock state, but we've got off. So hopefully that's what they're talking about. Please wait. Have the fobic to be programmed, ready to be in your hands. Once you continue, you will get into the vehicle. If not already there, I'm already there, and press the unlock button. Hopefully this fob works. It's a little beat up and the key keeps falling out of it. But hopefully the unlock button works. If not, we'll have to get a different remote. But press the unlock button within 30 seconds. The key fob should be in the vehicle near the console when the unlock button is pressed, and remain there until it is programmed. So let's click continue, press and release the unlock button once, and then press continue. So now it's saying programming key fob, or the ignition fob. And we just kind of wait, see what happens. Hopefully I didn't screw this up. Kind of hard to talk to you guys and read the instructions while while I'm doing this. I kind of feel like I was, oh no, it completed successfully. Continue to program another fob or close. Well, that's the only fob I've got, so we're gonna hit cancel to close. So now that this is programmed, I'm pretty sure I can turn the ignition on, but let's go back over here to our instructions and let's see, select RF Hub, blah blah blah. Yep, this one's talking about programming the key fobs, which we just did. If the RF Hub was replaced with a scan tool, select miscellaneous functions and RF Hub replaced. So let's go back to our miscellaneous functions here, and RF Hub replaced. Use this function, blah blah blah. Yep, key fob must be programmed before running this. Yep. Place start switch in the run position, so run. And we gotta turn the radio off and hit continue here. Checking for programmed key fob. Yep, and here's where we're gonna put the pin, and I don't remember what the pin is. I gotta look, but you guys are not gonna see it, so sit tight. And this is gonna want us to verify that the pin we entered is correct. God, I hope it is. If not, it says we get 3 attempts. So if attempt 1 goes bad, that means we got the wrong pin number somehow. But shouldn't be the wrong pin number. And pin programmed successfully, learning the VIN and vehicle configuration. This may take several seconds, not minutes, but seconds. RF Hub replaced was successful. The VIN and configuration has been learned. Cycle the ignition off before starting the vehicle, so we're going to go off. And now we're going to see if it will start, because I think we're still, I don't know if we can hit close yet or not. I think I can hit close, but yeah, I can hit close. It'll let us do that. We're basically done. So let's hit this and voila. So that is basically all there is to it. Let's turn the ignition on. We got some codes we need to clear. Get back over here to our topology here, and all DTCs. I'm just going to clear all these. See, we got PCM invalid skim key, which is gone now. We got all these codes. They need to go away. And there was some other stuff on here about, yeah, there's your erase the codes. Operate all equipped RF hub system and components, passive entry, remote start, ignition positions, and others. Wait 4 minutes after completing step 10. So this is basically, it wants you to run through, and it's basically wanting you to test and make sure every function of the RF hub works, like the antennas in the doors, the buttons on the remote, and all that. And then it's wanting you to wait so long to rescan codes again, just to make sure there's no fault codes that come back or something like that for something that doesn't work. If any RF hub DTCs are present, then of course you need to troubleshoot those. So we've got our codes are cleared here. Now, if there was some kind of software update or something like that, these things usually come pretty much fully updated. Sometimes you may get one that's really old stock, and you would see a green lightning bolt on it, like how we got this TCM and this HVAC module. And you could go through and update it if you wanted to. I would probably recommend you did. If you replace the module, you kind of want to make sure it's fully up to date. This TCM one and this HVAC one, I'm not sure what they're all about. Let's see. This will usually tell you what the bulletin is about. Well, let's go back. Bulletin. Kind of clicked the wrong button, but here's the bulletin that's associated with that. It's apparently shift and drivability enhancements. So I would imagine this might be for if they've got a complaint about something. Hanging or delayed upshift when braking downhill. So I'm not worried about this. It's not here for that. And if you're going through programming and updating modules that you're not supposed to be doing, you're asking to brick one. Yeah. And I've done it. It's usually one of the real expensive ones when that happens. So if you wasn't asked to update it, I'd say don't update it. But that's pretty much it. I mean, it's pretty simple. You guys keep wanting programming videos, and I think they're pretty boring because it's really read service information, do the process service information says to do. It's pretty self-explanatory. Where programming is complicated is when there's, like on these cars, there's multiple modules. It can get a little confusing going through that that conditions tree to see which thing that you need to do. So like there's several different options here. So like if we had a new RF hub and a new PCM, this would be the order that we needed to do that in. So you just kind of have to read. That's all there is to it. It does take software, hardware. It gets expensive, and it almost seems like if you're not doing this constantly, every time you need to do it, you're going to have updates or something fight you. So yeah, just if you're wanting to get into module programming stuff, L1training.com, I think it's a .com. That's the place to go to learn how to do all this stuff. Keith has tons of great videos telling you almost basically step by step how to set all these softwares up, and things like that. Things that work good, things that don't work good, and things like that. So if you're wanting to get into it, that's the place to check it out. See what's really involved with it. There's a few makes, models that are pretty easy to get in with, like Ford. It's like $50 for 2 days. You can get the J2534 version to program modules. Chevy is $45 a VIN after taxes, depending on where your taxes are. It's like $49 or whatever. So there's some cheap ones. Chrysler, not cheap, $122. This didn't technically take a VIN or a flash slot because there's no flash update, so it could have been a little cheaper. You could have just got the YTech 2 sub and the Tech Authority sub. But yeah, I just always plan on spending the $122. So it's kind of expensive when you have to use all 3 subscriptions. That's probably going to be it on this one. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you guys later. Still got the maintainer on it, and it's still saying it's got some current going into it, 1.1 amps. It's been sitting here for, I don't know, 30 minutes, something like that. And by the way, still trying to learn this thing, and I'll have a video on this thing soon. I'm trying to figure everything out with it, but I'm pretty sure it is asleep. And I know there's going to be some comments, people not thinking it's fixed, but there we go, less than 30 milliamps. I'm happy with that. Plus it doesn't really matter, because like y'all seen in the last car, when I unplugged the RF hub and plugged it back up, the draw went away anyway. So it's very intermittent. It may take this thing days to act up again, but the other one hasn't been back. So I'm pretty confident this thing's fixed. So thanks for watching.